Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who be true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's fully chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about the fall and collapse of America, which is known as Mystery Babylon the Great in the scriptures. So there's this situation in America that's happening due to the whole tariffs and all of that. And here it is. The brother Arrows of Indignation 144 just posted this video 2 hours ago. The writing is on the wall for Babylon, and Babylon is referred to as America, right? Babylon, as the scriptures say, has been the glory of the Chaldees' excellency, right? Referring to the Edomites in that case. And these Edomites are these so-called white people, and these so-called white people are in rulership. This is their kingdom. That is clear to see. Their way of life rules, their money dominates, their the way their language dominates, their sense of dressing, like clothing, that dominates. Everything about the Edomite lifestyle dominates this entire world. And in Job chapter 9 verse 24, it says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and they are the wicked. All right, as you can see how they have ruled in a position of power, right? What they've done in rulership and everything behind it, it is clearly wicked. Okay, so the scriptures let us know that the kingdom of the Edomites, the so-called white man, would come to an end, and after that the kingdom of the Israelites would start. In 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. And Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is the end of the world, referring to the end of an age, not the literal world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So right now, we're in captivity under the so-called white man, and America's their main hub, right? America is that place, man, Mystery Babylon the Great. And right now, Yahweh Shemishai is tearing down America. And the Lord has given them, as the scriptures say, a cruel leader. In Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4, And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. And that's Trump. Since Trump has been put in for his second term, he's been making all types of moves that, though he tries to portray it as something that's beneficial for America, that's the story he's selling, it's really something that is leading to America's collapse. And I'm sure he knows that because, he's a part of that group. You have the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, who are the elite bankers, and, they have individuals, puppets, that they control, and Trump is one of them. So I'm sure he's aware of the agenda at hand. Okay, you don't get into such positions, such as the president of Babylon the Great, without knowing what is on the agenda. And he's bringing a certain kind of chaos to America. He is further making the enemies of America upset, and then he's also destroying the relationship between America and her current allies. I just saw an article on RT that mentioned something like Trump snubs Macron, and Macron is France. So you can say it like America snubs France, and France is a part of NATO, and that whole relationship between America and her allies is deteriorating, and that is supposed to happen as it's a part of Bible prophecy. Okay, so everything that's happening is because of Bible prophecy. And America's collapsing right now, and the collapse is all by design. The wicked elite of Esau either want to bring about chaos so that they can establish their new order. And that's their plan at hand. And at the forefront of that plan is the mark of the beast, which is a microchip. So the writing is on the wall for Babylon, which is America. Let's take a listen to what they have to say. Copyright, of course. Disclaimer.
The writing is on the wall. If we're not moving containers, there's no work, which means the companies aren't making money. And you have to make money to survive in this environment. It's just the way it is.
It's truly going to be a catastrophic year. I mean, more than half of the folks that I know are talking about closing their doors.
The bottom line is, Bill, we get about $400 billion in trade with China imports. Most of it comes here. People here I've spoken to, they want fair trade. The question is, how long is it going to take to get that before you start losing hours or shifts or even layoffs?
On the whiteboard, this is something you pointed out. Okay, it's something called blank shipping, right? All right, blank shipping. So I'm just going to draw a container ship. Blank sailing. Blank sailing. I'm not going to put a sail on it because it's a big cargo ship. But you got a big cargo ship here, okay? Usually it's full of cargo on the top. Beginning of the year, these ships leaving Asia, 0% of them were skipping ports. They were going to every port. They were picking up what they had. Containers were full. 100%. Okay, now 40%. These are the numbers you're pointing to, Dan. As many as 40% of these ships, guess what? Okay? Bypassing ports. So
down 40%.
and ships have to go when they have to go. You can't just sit around and wait. So they're going with just a few containers on them. Just these half-empty, who knows what. From 0% to 40.
And just think about what it's going to look like over the next week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And that's why deals need to get done, because this is what business leaders from e-commerce, across every industry are basically saying, like, time's ticking, and guess what's going to happen? Shortages, massive price increases, and that's where, look, we just talked about, for the U.S. consumer hasn't seen it yet.
Shortages, mass increases, inflation. All right, because that's how it is. That's how things work. If there's a scarcity of items, then the price increases because it becomes more rare. The rarer something is the more expensive that it is, right? And with all of these shortages that are coming, I mean, this place is through, man. America is through, and the rest of the world is through as well. Alter in Jamaica. Jamaica's gonna be through. Okay, Jamaica. Whatever happens in America, Jamaica feels it. Just like the whole bird flu situation over there in America, y'all experiencing the lack of eggs or whatever the situation is. Now we feeling it out here in Jamaica. In the grocery stores, you can't find no eggs, or if you can find the eggs, they're limiting it to 1 carton. So whatever is happening in America, Jamaica's gonna feel it as well. Okay. I was going to get a precept. So in 2 Ezra chapter 6, it's a good thing I'm here already. In verse 22, it says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty," right? So this goes into, well, it says it point blank, there is going to be a famine, right? And the places will be found empty, okay? But we're also seeing that just in general, items are gonna be seeing a shortage. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid, because the announcement is going to go out. And right now we are hearing a trumpet of sorts, because right now they are making the very obvious announcement and declaration that the situation at hand is this grim. Okay, we're no longer in the times where you'd hear about things and then they would blow over. Nah, we're in the time where things are going to occur and things are going to escalate. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So because of the food situation at hand, which is coming, I mean, it's going to be a part of this whole shortage thing. It's not just like items, like whatever it is, you know, it's going to be food as well. And the food is really what's going to draw people out. Okay. And there is food that is also imported to America, though I'm not sure if they import any food from China specifically, but it's all going to happen regardless, you know.
Yeah.
It's remember, it goes back to like, it's like being on a beach and all of a sudden, like, you're in the ocean, there's no water. Like, oh, this is crazy.
I'm gonna run out and check it
I'm gonna run out. You're like, no, it's because the tsunami's coming. So the point is that the reality is that he needs to get deals done.
But because this question, Peter, that I'm trying to understand. With China, a deal doesn't just happen with the snap of a finger and a go. I mean, at least there would be nothing.
Actually, I just Googled it. Yes, China does import food to America, but it's not a major source of food for the United States. Specific food items: apple juice, garlic, canned mandarin oranges, seafood, overall food supply. Okay, cool. So that's just some of them.
To indicate that that's how it's going to happen. But we're in a situation where if you look at the ships and you look at what's happening, right, that can be a blip only if you have an immediate sudden change afterwards.
Logistics of, I'm working with a guy named Andrew Sofko who runs a company called Batch. We've talked about how AI is coming into the logistics space around trucking in the United States and how complicated that is and how important it is that every little check, the trucks have to be full, they have to be on time, all of that work. Think about it, when you're only going at 40% inventory, that's going to start, so that the ship lines are going to be losing money. Everybody is going to start losing.
You don't get your inventory, then I don't get mine. They don't get theirs.
If it opens up back up, and those are all lanes.
And then you even talk about, you're talking about even like Christmas. Like the point is the split, that's what we're dealing
And the
with.
retailers and small businesses, and we talk about the stuffed animal company, they're saying they put in their order for 80% of their sales Christmas by the end of May.
Correct.
So that's normal.
That is the lead time for this thing. And that's the lead time that's going to start affecting when it starts affecting food and all kinds of other, look, you saw that with Target and Walmart. Actually, the CEOs of a lot of the retailers went to the White House apparently to talk and say, this is real for us.
And how do you price it? Because you don't know what you're pricing. And you've talked about that.
Huge
Well, there it
uncertainty.
is. He mentioned the food as well, because it's going to be just everything in America. America is just going to be broken down. All right, as the scriptures say, man, in Isaiah chapter 24, I'll start at verse 8. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it, right? Because we're heading into those types of times, man. People are already depressed, sad, etc. And that's because, as the scriptures say, the wicked are in rulership. So people are sad. But right now, people are still partying. People are still doing whatever. And so they're going out and they're drinking and whatever else. But it's going to come to the time where, with all of this collapse that is coming and, the situation at hand, when people drink, it will be because they're just so extraordinarily depressed. It says, the city of confusion. It says, the city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up that no man may come in. And that city of confusion is referring to America, right? America, which is Mystery Babylon the Great. Babylon, going back to Babal, which is confusion. There's a crying for wine in the streets, all joy is dark, and the mirth of the land is gone. The mirth of the land is gone, America. All joy is darkened, and that's what the state we're heading into. And I mean, it's already began. You can already see that America has been collapsing, but this will definitely expedite it. All right. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And that's where it's all going to head towards, because we're going to see the fall of it, the fall of an empire, right? And then its ultimate judgment is going to be destruction by way of thermonuclear fire. In Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1, it says, Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, and who's our creator, Yahweh Shemishai. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And the grinders are going to cease, man, because people are going to be losing their jobs as well. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. So people are going to be looking out of the windows, and they're going to be darkened because they're going to see no way out of the situation that is coming. And because they don't have any faith in Yahweh Shemishai, they can't see any light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Right? You know, that saying in this world. Okay, all they're going to see is just like depression and, oh, this is it, because they believe in this system and they believe in this world, and they don't believe that a kingdom is coming for us. You know, the kingdom of the Israelites. I'm only talking to my people, who are you Israelites, men. Okay? And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So all of the entertainment is going to be done away with. That's the first thing that goes. When society is collapsing, it is the entertainment that goes, like all of those musicians and rappers and whatever else. They're the first that's going to be out the door. All right, when people start heading towards a point of survival like they've never known before, when there's famine and pestilence and great death and great tribulation and everything, Jacob's trouble, you know, that's just the times that we're in. But America is in fact collapsing, and of course it's going to collapse because it's a part of the scriptures, man. Okay, so it's only a matter of time. And at the start of this, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. So, you know, seek Yahweh Shemishai and repent. And that's where it's at. And hope to be delivered from these very terrible times that are coming. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, B'Shem Kodesh. Shalom.